quite strong stylistically, basically because it had a really great sort of philosophical and sort of cerebral approach to the horror genre that was ends up being surprising and interesting and sort of moving you down a path that you don't necessarily expect. I thought the opening quote about darkness and the light sort of really created a backdrop for what the piece was trying to do in terms of its intent. I thought that the lead character had to carry the entire piece, and he did a really great job of showing sort of emotional range, high emotional stakes, very muted emotional feelings. And I thought that the setting of the house really created a claustrophobic feeling that reinforced a lot of the themes that were present in the piece. I thought it was interesting to have the piece obviously end with the man. I'm not sure the context of that man in particular. I know the sound design around him arriving sounded a lot like trees crunching or a nature burning or crumbling was a really great effect. But it was very interesting to see him end up hugging him at the end in the context of sort of the actual monster being his parents or his mother or a monster in your own home, and as opposed to some monster that is imaginary or a fantasy. I thought it was an interesting twist on a horror concept, and I thought it was a much more grounded and realistic examination of what normally tends to be scary and frightening to people. It's not normally a monster, but somebody that's right around you and people that are supposed to take care of you. And I thought that this was a good deconstruction of that idea. So it was well done stylistically, a strong sound design that allowed the mood and suspense to maintain throughout the piece. And ultimately, I thought it was pretty well done and easy to get into as a piece.
It reminded me of the Babadook, and it's like both monster quality, but also the way it handled the idea of connecting horror to trauma. I feel like a lot of people, I think that's a really common theme that's tackled today in the horror genre, and this short just really got it right. Um, from the very beginning, you can tell you're dealing with like really strong filmmakers in that the monotonous quality of the phone uh, paired with the monotonous quality of the lights flickering, like that was a really great plant with an excellent payoff of the reveal of the creature in the hat, or the man in the hat at the bottom of the stairs, and the building of tension on that, building it into the argument with the parents, and then into the final moments, I thought was really really smart. The repetitious nature of that, the constant buzzing, the constant lights, was really great. I also thought the acting was really excellent. That monologue, the voice actors in particular, like the monologue about hanging the chandelier, like in the very middle, was really powerful. And I think the voice acting, as well as the actor, the main actor, did an excellent job. It was very heartfelt and like really pulled at your emotions, and they did a really great job. And of course, the ending, like the twist, the hug, was so powerful. And relayering that, which already would have been a powerful ending in and of itself, and then you drop down to the suicide of the boy, and I thought it was just a really well thought out button to that short, along with the end credits of the parents' voicemails. Everything felt really, really put together and put in place in such a way to create the maximum amount of emotional response.
It shines a big light on an important subject like depression. The main character is, and the title suggests the same, the main character is used to say okay to anything and anyone, especially his parents. And we can see the major turning point when he changes. He gets the phone call from his father, reminding him that he's basically useless. He doesn't even understand why he has such a loser as a son, and that's the moment where you can see the struggle of the character coming off, and just him losing it completely. And then we get to the end where we find out that the villain that's been chasing the main character is nothing more than death itself. And when something is about to happen, death hugs the main character. And here we have the final shot where we understand the main character just killed himself and he was just having a vision. This is a very strong and deep and moving moment that gives us an important look of how a deep, profound thematic like depression, and why many people struggle with that, and why many people, day after day, every day, there's 100,000, millions of people everywhere in the world just taking their own lives. And I think it was a very well executed movie.
Just visually, you could tell how much thought was put into each shot. It's great cinematography. A lot of thought was just put into what we are seeing in each frame, which I thought was really cool, playing around with these photographs that he's put on the wall. I really liked the scene when his dad calls, and immediately we see the shot change to one where the portrait of his dad is visible. So just being really thoughtful in what is put in the frame, you could really tell. So I enjoyed that a lot. The music was really creepy. I did a great job of building that tension in this film, and just the sound effects coming from the creepy man character with the cracking and popping and snapping as he's moving as if he's a dead corpse. Super chilling, super creepy and effective. The end reveal was devastating, but also in a way wholesome, because we see the picture change to one where he's hugging I'm assuming it's his father, and having that reconciliation, and the reveal that it is about abusive parents and how that contributes to a higher suicide rate was really devastating. So I thought the ending was really effective, and beautiful in a way. We see him reuniting with this man character that I'm going to assume is a parental figure.
I love that the filmmakers took the time to do research too for the end credits about parental abuse and the links to suicide. They just went and listened to this to their child is quite sad. At first, where you see the old vintage pictures, you're at least first assuming that mom and dad are dead and maybe he's talking to ghosts. But the fact that it got realistic rather than going into that direction for the horror genre made it even more interesting, because you really did feel for this kid. You could feel his pain on screen. I did enjoy the fact that the filmmakers chose to go with the long form shots. Sometimes you're wondering when something's going to cut, and they went for long form, but it showed the emotion, it showed what was going on in a more impactful way.
I love the script with the abuse that pushed him to the edge, and the drawing explaining what's out there. The performance is extraordinary, and the music and sound effects make up an excellent thrilling piece. I was shocked by the statistics they presented at the end, which informed and inspired the film. They use brilliant storytelling where you come to despise the parents as he is begging for help. And then the parents find out it's too late already, and this is just the sad reality of a lot of teenagers and younger people facing abuse by their parents. And I am so glad they did this film, and the producers and everyone involved. It's such an important topic.
It carries a really important message, which we may gather while watching, but certainly it is just written out for us at the end. But the way it's portrayed, I thought, was really cinematic and artful, but also just felt very grounded. The performance was great. Our lead solely, I mean, for the first 18 minutes, it's only them and some voices on the voice mail, but they managed to carry us through it without really ever making things stagnate, which is no small feat for one performer to pull off all alone like that. So I thought in that regard it was really remarkably done.